Lesson 813, line plots. A line plot is simply a visual way to organize and present data. Let's take a look at this first example. Mrs. Abaz's class recorded the width of their feet to the nearest quarter inch and drew this line plot with the data. Use the line plot to answer the questions. And so, of course, first visualize the situation here. Let's say that this is your footprint. In this case, we're talking about measuring the width of your foot. And if you take a look at these different widths of students' feet, we can see that most of them came in at 3¼ inches, and then you had some below and some above that. Question A, how many students' feet were recorded? Okay, so in order to answer that question, we just count up the dots because each of these dots represents a data point or the width of one student. So count them up. Did you get 11? One B, how many students' feet were 3 inches wide? Okay, go over here. There's 3 inches. Count up those dots. One C, were there more students with feet 3 inches or narrower? And so in place of the word narrower, you can think less than. Or students with feet wider, you can think greater than 3 inches. Were there more students with feet 3 inches or less, or students with feet greater than 3 inches? Okay. First, the 3 inches or less group would be right here. 3 inches or less would be 5 students. The students that had a foot width greater than 3 inches would be this group, and that would be the 4 plus the 2. So this group has 5 students, this group has 6 students. We'd say that this group is the larger group. Say more students had a foot width greater than 3 inches. Number 2, Mrs. Abaz's class completed a project about how to keep yourself healthy. She asked the students to record how long the project took them. The results of the survey in hours were, and then these data points here. Draw a plot of the time spent on the project. Okay, so first we can give it a title, right? And looking at the word problem, how long the project took. We could say project completion time. Could be one title, and maybe you can think of a better one. And then let's look at the data. 2 3/4, 2 1/4, 2½. I'm looking for the smallest and the greatest value. I think this is the smallest. And I think this is the greatest. Let me double check that. Okay. And so let's see how we can plot this. If this was 2 1/4, 2½, 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4. Okay, that works. 2 1/4. And each space represents going up by 1/4, right? Now let's count up how many data points we have for each value. 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Okay. Next is 2 1/2. 2 3/4. Counted 4. 3. And 3 1/4. 2. Now I'm going to check my work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I counted 11 data points here. And 11 data points there. That checks out. Okay. Finally, question B, use the line plot to write and answer a question about the data. Okay. I might say, and there's a bunch of questions that you could generate from this data, but I think I'm going to ask the question, what is the difference between the maximum amount of time versus the minimum amount of time students spent on this project? Or maybe I'll use most and least. And of course, just for fun, I could show how to solve that. The difference between 3 1/4 minus 2 1/4, of course, would be 1. And let's show that the unit of measure of this data was in hours.